Hello and welcome to this new video for my channel, The Mental Traveler. I'm Carolina and today I'm going to be reviewing a story called A Room with a View. I shall be reviewing the novel, which was written by Ian Forster and published in 1908, and its movie adaptation from 1985, starring Helena Bonham Carter, Maggie Smith, Judi Dench, Daniel Day-Lewis, Simon Callow, Denholm Elliott, Rupert Graves, Patrick Godfrey, among others. Before I begin though, let me just say that this will be a spoiler-free video, so you can sit back and enjoy. I was introduced to the story of A Room with a View through the movie because since a very early age I've been into British period dramas and I've always loved British actors. So when I picked it up, I was aware of who most of the cast was, and since it looked like a love story, I thought it was worth checking out. Sometime later, when I was in middle school, I learned that those in high school were gonna get a chance to read A Room with a View, as well as The Scarlet Letter. And I wanted to read those books two at once. I didn't want to wait until I was in high school, and I couldn't find them anywhere else. I don't know if they weren't allowed for middle school children because we weren't ready for them or something, but in this regard I've always felt I've been ahead of my generation. But yeah, I wasn't gonna let that stop me, so I went to talk to my principal about my desire to read them, and she agreed to lend them to me. So yeah, I read A Room with a View, and I must have liked it because I remember that around this time I also came to discover other of Ian Forster's stories, and while I only read for a long number of years the book only once, I did rewatch the movie several times. So I was looking for a light read, and I saw A Room with a View because I bought it years ago and decided to reread it. I also rewatched the movie afterwards, and it was perfect because I was about to go to Europe, and one of the settings of this novel is Florence, and I was gonna go to Florence with my mother, and in a way something similar happens in the book, so I thought it would be a good time to reread A Room with a View. Set in the early years of the 20th century, the story of A Room with a View begins with two British travelers in Florence complaining about the fact that the view of their hotel room does not overlook the River Arno. One of these is the protagonist, Lucy Honeychurch, a young woman who on the outside looks like the perfect brought-up English rich lady, but there is more to her than meets the eye. She is traveling with her older cousin, a woman called Charlotte Bartlett, who is very fussy and sometimes irritates Lucy. At the start of the book, they meet this old man and his young son, who offer to exchange rooms with them so that they can have a room with a view. After their very funny introduction, a series of events and chains that will link many of the characters' lives together forever. Some of the things they do in Florence will haunt them all the way back to England, where more unforgettable characters will come into the scene. In the end, A Room with a View is a love story, but it's also one full of lessons about the importance of knowing your own heart and self and mind, and the consequences of keeping the truth from others, and how choices can change everything for you forever. Give A Room with a View, both the novel and the movie, a 5 out of 5 stars review, and highly recommend them, particularly to anyone who likes British period dramas or English classics. I loved rereading the book because I think I got everything the author was trying to tell us. And yeah, it was just such a fresh and smooth and funny read. And towards the end, I was surprised because I picked up on something I'd never realized before. And it's nice when that happens with a well-known story. But yeah, I love the characters, their development, the plot, the love story, the British humor. And as to the movie, oh my, it's such a perfect, close adaptation to the book. So faithful to it, and the actors do wonderful jobs. Particularly, in my opinion, Helena Bonham Carter, Maggie Smith, and Daniel Day-Lewis. It has gorgeous settings and costumes. Finally, I'd already been to Florence, but during this visit, while I am aware of the rich history of the city, all the art, the Medicis, the painters, the sculptures, I'm afraid that all I wanted to do was go to the places where A Room with a View takes place, and I was so happy hunting for those particular corners and stuff. My room didn't have a view of the Arno either, and I just like to pretend that I was Lucy Honeychurch while I was walking through it. There is a more recent adaptation of A Room with a View, dating back to 2007. It stars Elaine Cassidy, Timothy Spall, Sinead Cusack, Rafe Spall, Sophie Thompson, Lawrence Fox, Elizabeth McGovern, and Timothy West. And while all of these are wonderful actors whom I've seen in other stuff before, I've only seen this adaptation once, and that was a long time ago. I don't want to include it in this review because I rewatched the trailer and it looked quite different from the book, sort of making it more modern to please a younger audience, but that is something I'm not interested in watching. I like faithful adaptations of classics. Besides, the one from the 80s is more famous and that acting is just superb, so I'm content with that one. But yeah, for the moment I believe this is all I have to say about A Room with a View. Thank you very much for watching my review of it. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you did or didn't, and I would love to talk about this story with you. Please share your own opinions in the comment section below. Also in the description box you can find a link to the IMDb page for the movie, as well as a link to the Goodreads page for the novel. But yeah, anyways, I'm Carolina, the Mental Traveler, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. I'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye.